Job is to open her eyes.
Toby! Oh my God!
Is this what you're looking for?
Basic principles. No matter what, no matter when, no.
First of all, swept off my feet. He says, no woman wakes up saying, God, I hope I don't get swept off my feet today. Swept off my feet is past tense. Present would be sweep off my feet. And this phrase, this idiom, it means to make someone fall in love very deeply. Usually we say a man sweeps a woman off her feet. Sweep, of course, comes from like you have a broom. You're cleaning the floor, and you sweep the floor. But it has the idea that also of a man knocking a woman off her feet. So you can imagine she's so in love, she falls down, right? She falls off her feet. She falls down, and the man catches her. Right? This is the image that you want to imagine for this phrase. The woman sees the man, she's so in love, she falls down, and the man catches her. He sweeps her off her feet, right? He picks her up, he takes her off her feet. So this phrase means a man makes a woman fall deeply in love, very quickly, very suddenly, very strongly. He makes her fall in love. So he's saying, no woman wakes up saying, in the morning, I hope I don't, negative, I hope I don't get swept off my feet. Which means every woman does want to be swept off her feet. According to this character, he thinks every woman loves romance. She might say she does not, but really she wants love. That's the meaning of that sentence. All right, and then the next little line, he says something like, now she might say, this is a really bad time for me. Or something like, I just need some space. We've had this before. I need space. If you say this in a relationship, if you're talking about dating. I need space means I need time alone. I don't want to be with you, right? I don't want to be with a boyfriend. I don't want to be with a girlfriend. I need time alone. I need to be away from other people. I need space. I need space. And in the next line, He said she might say, I'm really into my career right now. These are excuses a woman might use. I'm really into my career. To be into something, really into something, means you're really interested in it, or you're really focused on it, or you're really concentrating on it. So I'm really into my career right now means I'm really focused on my job right now. And these are all examples of excuses that a woman might use. If you want to ask a woman on a date, you want to date her, you say, I like you. And she uses these excuses. I need some space. I'm into my career. It's a bad time for me. These are excuses that women use when they don't want to date a man. All right. So then we go on. He says 60% of all human communication is nonverbal. Nonverbal, of course, means not verbal. And verbal means speech, right? Speaking. So nonverbal means without speaking. 60% of all human communication is nonverbal. It means you communicate with your body language. What your face and your body show 60% of the information. 30% is your tone. Tone means intonation. It means how you say something, not the words, but the way you say it. And then he says, so that means that 90% of what you're saying ain't coming out of your mouth. Ain't is casual English. Don't use it for writing. But in speech, it's okay. Ain't means am not, or are not, or is not. You can use it for all of those. Ain't, am not. In this case, it means is not. Ain't coming out of your mouth, is not coming out of your mouth. All right, and then next we see the word wanna. Of course she's going to lie to you. She's a nice person. She doesn't want to hurt your feelings. Wanna is kind of casual speech. It means want to. She doesn't want to hurt your feelings. She doesn't want to hurt your feelings. Hurt your feelings means to hurt someone's feelings, means to make them feel sad, make them feel upset, make them feel hurt. Right? So if a nice woman, if you ask her, oh, I like you, go on a date. Well, she's nice. She doesn't want to hurt your feelings. She doesn't want you to feel sad. So she lies. She says, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy. Or I have a boyfriend, or something like that. So you don't feel so bad. She's trying to be nice. That's why she's lying. That's what Hitch is saying. Hitch is the name of the character in this beginning scene of the movie. Okay, and he says, luckily, the fact is, just like the rest of us, even a beautiful woman doesn't know what she wants until she sees it. And that's where I come in. That's where I come in means, it's a common phrase, a common idiom. It means that's where I start, or that's where my job begins, or that's what I'm going to help you with. That's where I come in. It means that's when I should come in and start helping, right? She doesn't know you yet. She doesn't know what she wants. So he's going to help her figure out what she wants. He's going to come in and help the woman understand and realize what she wants. That's where he comes in. That's where he will start doing his work. He says, my job is to open her eyes. To open someone's eyes means to make them understand, right? I will open your eyes. It means I will make you understand. I will help you understand. I will help you realize the truth. I will help you see the truth. That's what open your eyes, open their eyes, open her eyes means. Okay, then you hear her. There's a woman in the beginning scene. She says, "Toby, oh my God, is this what you're looking for?" It's her dog. Toby's the name of her dog. She loses her dog, and the guy in the scene helps her get the dog, and then she wants to have a date with the guy. So in the beginning scene, Hitch, Will Smith's character, helps guys, kind of geeky guys that are not cool. He helps them get a date with women they really like. And maybe the guys, usually they can't do it. They're too shy, they're not cool enough, they're not confident. So he helps them. He's a date doctor. He helps them get dates. And in this beginning scene, the first scene of the movie, it shows him helping a few guys get a date with girls they like. And he's giving this speech at the same time. So you should rent the movie. You can really understand more what's happening. And finally, at the end, he says, basic principles. No matter what means any situation. No matter when means any time. No matter who means any person. Any man has a chance to sweep any woman off her feet. Okay, here we have sweep off her feet. It means any man can make any woman fall in love with him. So any woman can love any man. That's what that line means. Any man has a chance to sweep any woman off her feet, to make any woman love him. And then he has a joke at the last line. Just needs the right broom. He just needs the right broom. Broom, of course, we use that to sweep. This is a joke. He's talking about two different meanings, right? Sweep can mean to, clean a floor, which you use a broom, or sweep also can mean sweep off her feet, romantic. So he means just needs the right broom. That means he just needs the right technique. He needs the right method to get the woman. Okay, that's what that means. But it's kind of a joke, joking about the two meanings of sweep. So just needs the right broom means he just needs the right technique. All right, so that is the end of the first scene. Again, this is from the movie Hitch, starring Will Smith. It's a romantic comedy. If you want to understand it better, it's good to see it, so I suggest renting it at least one time. Okay, let's get started with the mini story lesson for the Hitch introduction. Here we go. Once there was a shy guy named Nick. He loved a beautiful girl named Stephanie. He wanted to sweep Stephanie off her feet, but he was too shy. One day, he finally asked her for a date. He said, you want to go to dinner with me? She laughed nervously and said, I'm really into my job right now. I'm sorry. I just need some space. Oh, Nick's feelings were hurt. He knew Stephanie didn't like him. But he said to himself, I ain't gonna take no for an answer. I'm gonna show her I'm a great guy. I'm gonna open her eyes. So, Nick bought 500 roses for Stephanie and told her, I love you. Stephanie was shocked and a little scared. Then Nick started to follow her everywhere. Stephanie became more worried. Finally, Nick broke into her apartment. When Stephanie came home, she said, Enough! This is where the police come in. Then she called the police. Now, Nick is in jail, and Stephanie finally has some space. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Once, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, but in the past, once there was a shy guy named Nick. He loved a beautiful girl named Stephanie. He wanted to sweep Stephanie off her feet, but he was too shy. Did he want Stephanie to fall in love with him? Yes, that's right. He wanted Stephanie to fall in love with him. He wanted to sweep Stephanie off her feet. Did he want to be very, very romantic and surprise her and impress her? Yes, that's exactly right. He wanted to sweep her off her feet. He wanted to impress her and surprise her with romance, with love. He wanted to sweep her off her feet. Did he want to sweep his sister off her feet? Well, no, of course not. Yeah, that's a romantic meaning. Sweep off your feet. It's romantic. He did not want to sweep his sister off her feet. Did he want to sweep a girl named Angelina off her feet? No, he did not want to sweep a girl named Angelina off her feet. Did he want to sweep a girl named Stephanie off her feet, or a girl named Julia off her feet? Well, he wanted to sweep a girl named Stephanie off her feet. Was he able to sweep Stephanie off her feet? Could he do it? Well, no, he could not. Unfortunately, he was too shy, so he could not sweep Stephanie off her feet. She didn't fall in love with him. But one day, he did ask her for a date. He said, you want to go to dinner with me? Did he ask her if she wanted to go to dinner? Yes, he did. That's exactly what he said. He said, do you want to go to dinner with me? Did he ask Julia, do you want to go to dinner with me? No, he didn't ask Julia, do you want to go to dinner with me? Did he ask his best friend, do you want to go to dinner with me? No, he did not ask his best friend, do you want to go to dinner with me? Did he ask a friend or a girl, do you want to go to dinner with me? Well, of course, he asked a girl, do you want to go to dinner with me? Which girl did he ask? Well, he asked Stephanie, do you want to go to dinner with me? Did Stephanie want to go to dinner with him? Well, no, she didn't want to. She laughed nervously, and she said, I'm really into my job right now. Was Stephanie really into her school right now? No. She wasn't really into her school. Was she really into her family? No, she wasn't really into her family. Was she really into exercise? Really love exercise, really focused on exercise, really concentrating on exercise? No, not on exercise. What was she really into? Well, she said, I'm really into my job right now. Is she really focused on her career? Was she really focused on her career? Yeah, that's right. She was really focused on her career. Was she was she telling the truth that she was really into her job? Well, we don't know, but maybe not. Maybe she was lying. Maybe she's not really into her job. Maybe she wasn't really into her job. But anyway, she said, I'm really into my job right now. I'm sorry. I just need some space. Did she tell Nick that she needed time alone? Yeah, that's right. She wants some time, independent time alone. She said, I just need some space. Did she just need some space from her friends? Well, we don't know, but I think not. Maybe not. Did she just need some space from her parents? Well, again, probably not. Who did she need space from? Well, she needs space from Nick. She told Nick, I just need some space. She just wants to be away from Nick, right? She needs space from Nick. How did Nick feel about this? Well, Nick's feelings were hurt. Were Nick's arms hurt? No, not his arms. His arms weren't hurt. Was his head hurt? No, his head was not hurt. Was he very sad? Yes, that's correct. Nick was very sad. Nick's feelings were hurt. Was Nick upset? Right, very upset. Yeah, that's right. Nick was very upset. Nick's feelings were hurt. Who hurt Nick's feelings? Well, Stephanie hurt Nick's feelings. Were Nick's feelings hurt by Stephanie? Yeah, same question, right? Just a little different. Yes, that's right. Nick's feelings were hurt by Stephanie. Why were Nick's feelings hurt? Well, because he knew Stephanie didn't like him. But he didn't give up. He said to himself, I ain't gonna take no for an answer. Was he going to take no for an answer? No. He was not going to take no for an answer. He said, I ain't, right? I am not going to take no for an answer. I ain't gonna. I am not going to take no for an answer. Would Nick accept this answer from Stephanie? No, he would not accept no. He would not accept this answer. He refused. He said, no, I will not accept this. I ain't gonna take no for an answer. Would he take yes for an answer? Well, yeah, of course. He said, I ain't gonna take no for an answer, but he certainly would take yes for an answer. He would love for her to say yes. He just said, I ain't gonna take no for an answer. I will not. I am not. He said, I'm going to show her I am a great guy. I'm gonna open her eyes. Was Nick going to open her ears? No, he's not going to open her ears. Is he going to open her eyes? Yes, of course, he's going to open her eyes. Was Nick going to make her realize he was great? Yes, that's exactly what that means. He was going to make her realize, make her understand that he is a great guy. He said, I'm going to open her eyes. I'm going to make her understand how great I am. I'm going to open her eyes. Whose eyes was he going to open? Well, he was going to open Stephanie's eyes. Was he going to open every girl's eyes? No, not every girl. He was only going to open Stephanie's eyes. He said, I'm going to open her eyes. I'm going to open Stephanie's eyes. I'm going to make Stephanie realize I'm great. What did he do? How did he try to open her eyes? Well, he bought 500 roses for Stephanie, and he told her, I love you. Stephanie was shocked and a little scared. Then, even worse, then Nick started to follow her everywhere. Stephanie became more worried. Finally, Nick broke into her apartment. He came into her apartment secretly. When Stephanie came home, she saw him. She was surprised. She was scared. She said, enough! This is where the police come in. Did she decide, wow, it's time to call the police? Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. She decided, this is where the police come in. This is where the police should begin. This is where I should call the police, or when I should call the police. This is where the police come in. It means time to call the police. Time for the police to start doing their work. Did she say, this is where the fire department comes in? Oh, no. She didn't want the fire department to help. Who did she want to help? Well, she said, this is where the police come in. She wanted the police to help. She said, this is where the police come in, and then she called the police. Now Nick is in jail. He's in prison. And Stephanie finally has some space. Is Stephanie finally alone? Yes, that's right. Stephanie is finally alone. She's finally separate from Nick, alone from Nick. She finally has some space. Does Stephanie finally have space from Nick? Yes, that is correct. Why does Stephanie have some space from Nick? Well, she has space from Nick because Nick is in jail. Nick is in prison. So finally, Stephanie has some space. Alrighty, back to the beginning. This time, I will tell the story after key phrases, after important phrases with new vocabulary, with new idioms. I will pause. Please repeat. Repeat my pronunciation, not just the words. copy my pronunciation. Here we go. Let's start. Once there was a shy guy named Nick. He loved a beautiful girl named Stephanie. He wanted to sweep Stephanie off her feet. Good. He wanted to sweep Stephanie off her feet. Good. But he was too shy. One day, he finally asked her for a date. He said, you want to go to dinner with me? Good. You want to go to dinner with me? Okay. She laughed nervously and said, I'm really into my job right now. Good. I'm really into my job right now. Okay, very good. Then she said, I'm sorry. I just need some space. Good. I just need some space. Okay. Nick's feelings were hurt. Good. Nick's feelings were hurt. Okay. He knew Stephanie didn't like him, but he said to himself, I ain't gonna take no for an answer. Good. I ain't gonna take no for an answer. Good. I'm going to show her I'm a great guy. I'm gonna open her eyes. Very good. I'm gonna open her eyes. Okay, so Nick bought 500 roses for Stephanie and told her, I love you. Stephanie was shocked and a little scared. Then Nick started to follow her everywhere. Stephanie became more worried. Finally, Nick broke into her apartment. When Stephanie came home, she said, Enough! This is where the police come in. Okay, very good. This is where the police come in. Good. Then she called the police. Now, Nick is in jail, and Stephanie finally has some space. Good. And Stephanie finally has some space. All right, that's all. Very good. Now please pause your iPod, pause your computer, and try to tell all of the story, everything yourself. Just use the key phrases, right? Sweep Stephanie off her feet, really into my job right now, I just need some space, Nick's feelings were hurt, I ain't gonna take no for an answer, I'm gonna open her eyes, this is where the police come in, Stephanie finally has some space. Use those key phrases in your story. You don't need to memorize every word. Just try to use the new phrases correctly. And remember, this story is about the past. Alrighty, good. After you finish this, after you can remember and tell the story, go to the next lesson, the mini story point of view lesson. See you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome to the Hitch mini story point of view lesson. We're going to tell this story again, but we're going to change the point of view. We're going to change the time frame. First, we're going to talk about this story as if it was happening today, okay? This story is happening today. Here we go. There is a shy guy named Nick. He loves a beautiful girl named Stephanie. He wants to sweep Stephanie off her feet, but he is too shy. Finally, he asks her for a date. He says, you want to go to dinner with me? She laughs nervously and says, I'm really into my job right now. I'm sorry. I just need some space. Nick's feelings are hurt. He knows Stephanie doesn't like him. But he says to himself, I ain't gonna take no for an answer. I'm gonna show her I'm a great guy. I'm gonna open her eyes. So, Nick buys 500 roses for Stephanie and tells her, I love you. Stephanie is shocked and a little scared. Then Nick starts to follow her everywhere. Stephanie becomes more worried. Finally, Nick breaks into her apartment. When Stephanie comes home, she says, "Enough! This is where the police come in." Then she calls the police. Now Nick is in jail, and Stephanie has some space. Okay, very good. Very nice. Now I'm going to change it a little again. This time, our second version. We're going to start with since high school. There's a guy named Nick, a shy guy. There was a shy guy named Nick. There's a shy guy named Nick. Since high school, he has loved a beautiful girl named Stephanie. He has wanted to sweep Stephanie off her feet, but he's been too shy to do it. Well, one day he finally asked her for a date. He said, "You want to go to dinner with me?" She laughed nervously and said, "I'm really into my career right now. I'm sorry. I just need some space." Nick's feelings were hurt. He knew Stephanie didn't like him. But he said to himself, "I ain't gonna take no for an answer. I'm going to show her I'm a great guy. I'm gonna open her eyes." So Nick bought 500 roses for Stephanie and told her, "I love you." Stephanie was shocked and a little scared. Then Nick started to follow her everywhere. Stephanie became more worried. Finally, Nick broke into her apartment. When Stephanie came home, she said, "Enough. This is where the police come in." And then she called the police. Now, Nick is in jail, and Stephanie has had some space for many years. Okay, good. So you see in that one, the middle part of that story, most of it was the same as the original, right? Because we're talking about specific events, specific experiences in the past that are finished, totally done. However, in the beginning, you could say there is a shy guy named Nick, because he's still alive. Or you could say there was a shy guy named Nick, either one. But then the rest of it, we say, he has loved a beautiful girl named Stephanie for a long time, since high school. So he started loving her in high school. He still loves her now. He has wanted to sweep Stephanie off her feet. Since high school, he's wanted to do that. And up until now, he has wanted to sweep her off her feet. He's been too shy. So he's been too shy from high school until now. He's been too shy. But then something changed one day, right? Now we switched because it's a specific event that is over. And at the end, I say, Stephanie finally has had some space from him, right? So it means after that event, after he went to jail, she got space, and she's continued to have space until now. All right, very good. Let's do the next version now. We're going to talk about a movie idea. This is a movie idea. I have an idea for a movie. A movie I will make. I will make this movie next year. Okay? Here's my idea for the movie next year. There will be a shy guy in this movie. There will be a shy guy named Nick. And he will love a beautiful girl named Stephanie. He's going to want to sweep Stephanie off her feet, but he will be too shy. However, one day he will finally ask her for a date. He will say, "You want to go to dinner with me?" She's going to laugh nervously. And she's going to say, "I'm really into my career right now. I'm sorry. I just need some space." Of course, Nick's feelings will be hurt because he's going to know that Stephanie really doesn't like him. But he will say to himself, "I ain't gonna take no for an answer. I'm going to show her I'm a great guy. I'm gonna open her eyes." So then Nick will buy 500 roses for Stephanie, and he's going to tell her, "I love you." Stephanie will be shocked and a little scared. Then Nick is going to start following her everywhere. Stephanie's going to become more and more worried. Finally, Nick will break into her apartment. When Stephanie comes home, she will say, "Enough! This is where the police come in." Then she's going to call the police. Finally, Nick will be in jail, and Stephanie will have some space from him. Okay, there you go. So, of course, now that was talking about the future. Hello, and welcome to the commentary for the Hitch introduction. Let's get started. Hitch is a great movie, by the way. It's a really nice movie. It's a romantic comedy. It's funny, starring Will Smith. And I have used Hitch many times in my classes in San Francisco. I will use the whole movie, not just one scene, but I will teach the entire movie little by little. And what I do, it's called the Focal Skills Movie Technique. But it sounds great, but it's really quite simple. I show one scene of a movie, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute. And I show it normal speed, then I go back. Then I show it again, and I pause, and I explain new vocabulary, slang, and idioms. Then I go back again. Then the third time, I turn the sound off. And then I play part of a scene, I pause, and I ask the students questions about the movie. I might say, what's happening here? Describe this character. What do you think he is thinking? Why is he doing this? What is this person doing? Describe the place where they are at. What are they saying to each other? Anyway, I ask a lot of questions about what's happening in the movie. Then, after we finish that 3 times, I go to the next scene, and we do the same thing again. So one movie usually takes a few weeks to show. But it works really well. It's very, very popular. My students love it. It's the most popular thing I do in my class. And so I started thinking, okay, this is really popular. Students love it. How can I do this on Effortless English? It's more difficult. I can't show you the movie on Effortless English. But I thought maybe I could record scenes from the movie, the audio, and then I could use that for the basic lesson. And then I could make vocabulary lessons and mini-story lessons to help you understand that movie scene. So that's why this Hitch introduction, it's my first try, my first experiment to see if I can start using movies. Steve Kaufman at The Linguist and I think we disagree about movies. He doesn't like movies. He thinks movies are not very good for learning language. He thinks they're not intensive enough. And I understand his point. There's a lot more language concentrated in a book, an audio book, or an audio article. However, I disagree. I think they're fantastic ways to learn languages, fantastic sources. Because the thing I like about movies, number one, movies use more natural, conversational English. Books, even authentic, real, native speaker articles or books, they use a writing style of English. It's a little bit more formal than what we actually use when we speak. Because when we speak, we use a lot more idioms, we use a lot more slang, we use words like ain't, gonna, wanna, all those kind of things we use every single day. If you listen to 2 Americans talking to each other, they do not sound like written English. It's different kind of English. It's not better or worse, but it is a little bit different. Movies are closer to that kind of English, the kind of English you hear on the streets. If you walk around San Francisco, people speak more like you hear in the movies, not so much like you hear or see in books. So I think movies are a great way to learn real conversational English, casual English. And especially Americans are quite casual. When we speak, we usually are casual. Even if I speak to my boss, I'm not formal. I'm very casual when I speak to my boss, when I speak to teachers, when I speak to my parents. I'm very casual. So I like movies for that reason. Another reason I like movies, movies have a continuous story. So you can understand the vocabulary and the phrases and the slang. There's a big context. You understand the whole situation, and especially when you can see it, you understand more how the vocabulary is used, in what situations the vocabulary is used. And a third reason, I think movies are great for memory, because you not only hear the language, but you have a picture to connect with the language. So if you hear the line, any man can sweep any woman off her feet, sweep off her feet. Well, you could memorize that phrase and you could read it in an article. That's okay. But if you see the movie Hitch, you will have some images, you will have some pictures from the movie to connect with that phrase. And it will help you remember the phrase much, much, much more easily. So, for all of those reasons, I think movies actually are very powerful ways to learn languages, if you use them correctly. Just watching a movie, full speed, one time, it's not good. It's not efficient. Steve is right. It's not a good way. To use movies correctly, you really need to watch it scene by scene. You need to repeat the scenes many times. Now, if you don't have a teacher to help you, like my class, I can help them. I can do it. But if you're on your own, you're at your home, you're doing this yourself, here's what you can do. Buy a DVD or rent a DVD. Let's say Hitch. I recommend do it with Hitch. You put it in, and maybe you watch it one time to get the general idea. But to study with it, to learn with it, you go back and you do what I do in my class. You play one scene, you use English subtitles, and you play the scene one time, trying to get the general idea. Then you go back, you pause after 1 minute or 2 minutes, you go back to the beginning of the scene, you play it again. This time, every time you don't understand a word or phrase, you pause. You write it down in your little notebook or something, and you use your dictionary, and you find out, oh wow, what does this word mean? What does this word mean? If it's an idiom or slang, you might need to get on the internet. Go to Google and type in English idioms. There are many different websites, so you can find some of those idioms, some of that slang. You can find it on the internet, the meaning. So you go through the scene little by little, right? Step by step, finding all the new words and phrases and slang and idioms that you can find. If you can't find something, just don't worry about it. Just forget it. Keep going. Just get as much as you can. After that, go back again. Watch the scene one more time. This time, you should understand more. Then, go to the next scene. Repeat the same process. It will take you some time to go through all of the movie. But the good thing is, you will be learning real conversational English as native speakers use it on the street, in real conversations. You won't be learning the textbook English that nobody uses. You won't be using or learning more formal English, which people do use, but maybe not as much. You'll be using average, everyday conversational English. That's good. So that's one great way to use movies. One reason I love movies, using them in class. And I think that's why they're very popular with my students. My students often complain, wow, I know all the textbook English. I understand all this grammar that I've studied all these years. And I can read articles. I can read TOEFL articles and understand them. But I go to the bus stop. 2 Americans are talking to each other. I can't understand them. I don't know what they're saying. It's because they're using casual English. They're using a lot of idioms. They're using slang. They're speaking quickly. All those reasons. They're not speaking the way the textbooks speak. So, that's my sales pitch. Use movies. Now for Hitch, if you like this, if you like me using this movie, if you like this lesson, please tell me. Go to the forums and write a comment. Just tell me, AJ, please use more movies. If you tell me that, if members tell me they want movies, I will do this more. Maybe I'll do the next scene in Hitch. Maybe I'll go through most of Hitch, scene by scene, and do lessons for each part. And eventually you could do the whole movie this way. So if you like that idea, please tell me. If no one tells me, I might not do it because it is a lot of work. I want to make sure that you like that. But one important part of this is that you need the pictures, right? Just listening to the audio is okay, but you really should watch the movie at least one time. So to get the most power from this lesson, please go rent the movie Hitch. Okay, the movie name is Hitch. The star is Will Smith, the actor. Rent the movie at least one time. Then, when you hear the audio from Effortless English, you can remember some of the pictures. You can remember what's happening in the story because you saw the movie. So it's very important to go get this movie and watch it. It will be much better than just listening to Effortless English only. If you watch it first, then the lessons will be more powerful for you. Okay, finally, I have one more suggestion for you for using movies. And that is, movies are great for pronunciation work, for improving your pronunciation. In fact, with my private students, I use movies all the time to help them with pronunciation. In fact, I use this speech at the beginning of Hitch. I've used it many, many, many times. The reason is this. One, as I said already, movies use conversational English, usually. Depends on the movie, but usually. And number two, often or usually, the actors have very good pronunciation. A movie like Hitch with Will Smith, a movie like About a Boy with Hugh Grant, they have excellent pronunciation, right? They're professionals. They get paid a lot of money to speak well, to speak powerfully, to have really clear, strong English speech. So they're good people to imitate. Imitate Julia Roberts, imitate Will Smith, imitate Hugh Grant. If your pronunciation is like theirs, you will sound fantastic. So I like using these movie scenes for pronunciation. Here's what you do. Use the audio from this lesson, Hitch intro audio, the MP3, the original from the movie. And first listen to it many times, over 1 week, 2 weeks, listen to it until you understand it easily. Then start pausing. After every sentence, pause and repeat the line, repeat the sentence. Try to copy Will Smith's pronunciation exactly. When I say exactly, I mean copy his pauses. Where does he pause? Where does he stop? Where does he speak quickly? Which words go together quickly? Which words are separated by a pause? Copy his intonation. When does he go up? And when does he go down? Copy his loudness, his volume. When does he speak more loudly? When does he speak more quietly? Copy his emotion. When is he sounding like he's a little bit funny? When is he sounding like he's serious? Copy all of those things. And of course, copy actually the words, how he says the words. But all those other things are very, very, very important. You will need to do this. Well, you could do this every day for 1 year. You could probably do this every day for 10 years. But do it over a long period of time. Each time, you will get better and better. It's slow. Pronunciation takes some time. It takes a lot of repetition. It takes a lot of careful listening. It's not fast and easy, I'll be honest. It's not. But if you can do it, little by little, and if you use something like from a movie, it's a little more interesting, I guarantee your pronunciation will improve. It will get much better. My students that I work with, my private students, when they do this, when they use Hitch, for example, to practice pronunciation, it's amazing. Over a few months, 3, 4, 5 months, their pronunciation is so much better. So please try this. It will help you a lot. All right, that's the end of my comments. I guess this is mostly a commentary that contains a lot of suggestions. I'm trying to suggest to you different ways to use movies to study and improve your English. I think most of you will enjoy using movies more than using textbooks. And maybe more than articles, I don't know. Depends on each student. Alrighty, I will see you next time, And remember, if you like me using the movies, if you want me to use more movies, then please write a comment in the forums. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.